So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can be perfect around women you're attracted to, how you can walk into a room and know that all the women that you're interested in will at least bare minimum respect you and see you as a viable option sexually and romantically. Okay, so after you watch this video, you'll know how to be a guy that never gets friend zoned. You're still gonna have to put in the work, but you're gonna know how to not be friend zoned, how to never be that nice guy again, how to never be that guy that gets stuck in this nice guy purgatory where women just treat you like a friend, treat you like a puppy dog. They actually start respecting you and they start to chase and desire you, okay? That's what I'm gonna do in this video. If you don't know who I am, I'm Tim Brazil. I'm the owner and founder of Understanding Attraction. We teach men how to harness their masculinity, take control of their lives, and live more fulfilled lives, which ultimately leads to women chasing them so they can have the ideal partner, so they can have that ideal partner constantly chasing them and falling into the feminine role and actually following. And we want to create more masculine leaders. The reason I'm making this video is because I think there's a lot of BS advice out there that doesn't actually help you, that doesn't focus on what to actually do, how to become a real man, and how to, run away from becoming a real man but still get the result. And I don't think that's healthy for society. And so my hope is that you'll watch this video, you'll put some of it into action, and you'll get some results, and then you'll be like, hey, this guy's stuff is pretty good. I think I'm gonna pay him for coaching. That's why I'm doing this, fully transparent. So in this video, I just want to talk about how to be perfect. And I think the most important thing to understand is that you will never be perfect unless you do something a lot, unless you get thousands and thousands of repetitions of something. You will never get six-pack abs unless you get tons of reps of consciously trying to eat less food. You will never get giant biceps unless you do thousands of reps of curls. You will never be good at anything at a masterful level, which ultimately is what you need to be if you want to be in the top 1% of men, 1% of desirable men. If you want that, you need to get thousands of reps practicing being that guy. And so I'm gonna give probably 3 tips in this video on how to harness that energy, how to be that guy, okay? And first, I talk about this all the time, but you need to know what your craft is. You need to know what you're doing with your life. What is the craft you are focused on right now? And it can be for your whole life. That craft can be just for a season. Like I went through a season of maybe a year and a half of mastering the skill of talking to women. And that was my craft for a long time. Now my craft is business. Now my craft is communication on a screen to show you how to do the things that I learned over a year and a half, 2 years. And so you can have crafts for seasons, you can have crafts for your whole life, but you need to have a craft, and that needs to be your number 1 focus, right? Well, realistically it needs to be your number 2 focus. Your physical and mental health probably should be your number 1 focus, and that is all personal. Notice how the first 2 priorities in every man's life that actually gets results with women, that has women chasing them, that has women texting them like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about you. Oh my God, I can't wait till our date on Friday. Like, wait, are we still on for our date on Friday? We haven't texted in a couple days. Like, I miss you. The reason girls are texting guys like that is those guys have 2 priorities that come above everything else. And it's themselves. It's all selfish. And the reason is because if you're one of those guys that is the nice guy that's getting left on red by your female friends, and they kind of view you like a little puppy dog, running around, they're like, oh, that's cute. And they give you the attention and validation, but they never actually want to be in a relationship with you. If you're that guy, it's because you're focused too much on other people. You're investing your emotions too much into other people rather than putting your time and attention on things that you're building in your own life. And that's why your craft is so important, okay? If you don't have something you are focused on with full, intent to master that thing, you will never be the man that women obsess over. And that's just true. I've gone through phases in my current relationship where my girl is obsessed with me. And every time it's been when I'm obsessed with something else, when I'm obsessed with my business, when I'm obsessed with my fitness. It's never been when I'm obsessed with her. Every time I'm obsessed with her, we're intimate less. We have less time. We spend less time together. And when we do spend time together, she was nagging me or getting on to me about something because I'm obsessed with her and she's losing respect. So that's the first thing you need to do is have a purpose, have a vision, have a craft that you're focused on. The second thing that you need to do is you need to talk to a ton of fucking women, okay? Like all these dating gurus, all these dating coaches, except for a couple that I really fuck with, none of them talk about the fact that you need to focus on talking to women. And if you're not a talkative person, figure it out, because true 1% attractive males, those guys, those talk to women. They talk to women, dude. Like they talk to people all the time. Anyone successful in business, anyone successful in their career, they know how to talk to people. Even if they're introverted, if they're extroverted, doesn't matter. I used to think I was an introvert for a long time. Turns out I'm actually extroverted. I just was a pussy, and you know, I had to work on that. I was a baby. I was a big baby. I was a little boy that didn't want to grow up and be a man and face a challenge. And that's why I struggled. And once I realized that, and I viewed that as a challenge, I made that my craft, getting over the fear of talking to people. Once I did that, I noticed that it was a lot easier to take tons of action. It was a lot easier to be the man I needed to be. That's incredibly attractive. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is you need to learn the skill of not just failure, but you need to learn how to be tough. If you look at all the most successful men, every successful man I've ever met that, you know, whether they're making $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, as you climb the success ladder, even monetarily, like $1 million a year, $10 million a year, $100 million a year, every guy I've met, they've gotten progressively tougher. They've gotten progressively tougher. As you see guys with like hotter and hotter girlfriends, with healthier and healthier relationships, better and better at a sport, you just see the toughness increase. And this is something I underrated for most of my 20s, and I'm really regretting that I did. But every time you have negative emotions, every time you have life punching you in the face and telling you, no, you can't fucking do this, loser, sit the fuck down and back off. Every time life tells you that, every time you do sit down and you give up and you give into those emotions, that is you refusing to be tougher. You're choosing not to be tougher. You're choosing not to become a more hardened warrior of a man. And that's what you need. That's what turns women on. Women want a winner, and you can't win unless you're tough as fuck. And that's just the truth. And so what I want you guys to understand is that this third aspect of just being tougher, like you can sit around and complain about how your life sucks. I know I've done that in the past, and I've never gotten anywhere because of it. Every time I've sat through the shitty emotions, I was just like, fuck, man, let me just like feel this and like do this thing anyway. Every time I felt anxiety about going to the gym, every time I felt anxiety about going up and talking to a girl, I just fucking did it anyway. Every time I did that, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I definitely didn't do it every time, but every time I toughened the fuck up and I just did it anyway, I came out stronger on the other side, and I was more effective because of it. And almost every time I came off as more attractive because I was being a fucking man. I was being a man on his purpose. I was embracing my masculinity. I was stepping into my masculinity rather than running away from it and turning into like this little emotional girl, right? And I need you guys to understand this. It's so, so important, okay? So I'm going to wrap up the video. But before I do, if you haven't, subscribe down below. Helps the channel out a lot. I appreciate it. Helps other guys see this message. Also, like the video and send this to someone that needs it. Like, if you know a guy that's struggling, that's women are looking at him like a little puppy dog running around and like, oh, he's so cute, but like I would never be with him. If you know a guy like that, you know, and if you got this sent to you by a friend, no offense, bro, you need it. I've needed it in the past. I have clients that have needed it. You know, I have clients paying me money to get over this problem. So it's like a totally normal problem. It's like an epidemic inside of masculinity right now. And send this to someone that needs it. I'm being serious, because men that uplift each other, that creates brotherhood. That creates like this positive feedback loop of masculinity that we actually need right now, because most masculine advice is kind of shit and it's pretty negative. You know, it's all disempowering. It's like, oh, men can't do anything. We're all, you know, we're victimized. We're blah, 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 blah. It's like we're demonized by the media. Who cares? Like, real strong men don't get affected by that shit. Okay? So I want you guys to step up. Let's create a movement. I'm excited to see you guys in the next video. Peace.